Hello everybody, welcome. It is Anime Egoist here and I'm back with another video, which is what if Isagi Yoichi was the ultimate player. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Why was my upload schedule has been pretty off? Well, because some events occurred which lead me to stop posting my usual schedule to date. Also, thanks for 1000 subscribers, I really appreciate you all. And that shows me all of you are not diamonds in the rough, but egoists. Also, this is a mixture of part 1 and part 2. I decided to remake part 1 since it just didn't seem right to me. But let's get started with the video. Oh yeah, I forgot, if you're a former subscriber or someone new and you're interested in my content, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications to see more banger blue lock what ifs of mines.
Isagi was a prodigy in all aspects of football. He was good at being a goalie, midfielder, and his most favorite, a striker. Ever since Isagi turned on the television and watched the world's #1, Noah play, he was fully immersed of the international sport. He would always try to do certain moves he seen on the TV screen, and even try to portray certain players he favorited, mainly Noel. But Isagi's parents Issei Isagi and Iyo Isagi noticed that Isagi had large amounts of potential, as Isagi just need to tap into that potential, which will lead him and their family to success. Isagi have been to all types of football clubs. Each club taught him every weapon he need on the pitch, dribbling, shooting, and making strategy which will lead him to scoring goals. While practicing and training at the clubs, Isagi had noticed about his vision. It's like at certain times he played, he could sense the goal even if he wasn't directly looking at it. And with that heightened vision of his, he could also figure out and predict where everybody on the pitch will move towards next, even the goalie. And with that, Isagi also gained many new types of weapons, such as direct shot, goal shelling, and extreme spatial awareness. With those weapons in Isagi's arsenal, he could dominate everyone on the field. Isagi was also aware that he could position himself where he could retrieve the ball anywhere on the field, including, since Isagi liked to portray Noah, he would shoot with both legs, both right and left foot. And also he classified those as secondary weapons, such as left foot direct shot, Isagi's catastrophe, Isagi's domain, and also machine dribbling. With mastering weapons and now been progressing with his secondary weapons, Isagi has become Japan's beloved ultimate player. Him and Itoshi has been going mainstream, as both were viewed as the best few Gen 11. And there always been debates of who is better, Isagi, the ultimate player, or Itoshi, the boy genius. But one day that debate would become reality, as Isagi's club and C's club was finally competing against one another. The whole Japan media was hyped. It was all over the press, websites, and current broadcasts. Isagi and Sae has heard of each other before, more than likely, as they always wanted to figure out who is the better player out of the two of them. Moving in as the match starts, Isagi's team gets the ball, which leads to his teammates passing the ball to Isagi, since he's obviously the best player on their team. As Isagi is making his way up the field, he encounters the genius, Sae himself. As Isagi tells Sae he will destroy Sae and his fantasy of his of becoming the world's best striker. As Sae replies saying, "Okay then, we'll see about that." But Isagi makes one more request, stating, if he wins, Sae will have to give up his dream of becoming a striker and switching to a different position. As Sae is up for the challenge, each team is scoring goal to goal, going back to back. As all the spectators are on the edge of their seats observing this hell of a duel between these two star players. It's not even an 11 versus 11 anymore, it's just a 1v1 between Sae and Isagi. As the score is 3-4, as Isagi's team is winning in the lead, as the fans behind the screens watching on both ends for Sae and Isagi, as the two ends are rooting for the two sprouting egoists. As in the mind of Sae and Isagi, this thought goes across their minds: this match decides my future, my fate, my destiny, and my success. I will make sure to devour him, they shouted. As things start heating up between the two, and there is only a minute on the clock, as the fans are now grinding their teeth together and biting their nails, as the scoreboard shows 4-4, as the teams are now tied up. Isagi and Sae are desperate to make a goal as both of them is trying their hardest to score the final goal to lead themselves to victory, but to Isagi it's all for one. Now Isagi's teammate passes the ball to him as it's now in his possession. With his machine dribbling and extreme spatial awareness godlike vision on the field, he bypassed the players on the opposing team. As now he's right near the goal, Sae pops up. Isagi had been waiting for this as it's the finals showdown. Isagi and Sae both have been pushed to their limits, or were they? Isagi had a trick up his sleeve, he screams to everybody to get in formation. As we cut back to Isagi had pass. He watched many teams and analyzed what they're good at and what is their stronghold that leads them to winning and scoring. Isagi came across this one team, yes, and you may figured it's the Ubers. He's seen that they have a deadly formation which everyone on the team becomes one defensive weapon itself. Then they defend the main striker Mark Snuffy, giving him a chance to score a goal which basically seems like a perfected calculation that they came up with to score. Now as Isagi and his teammates get in formation, they're defending the pitch, so Isagi gets an opening and is able to score a goal. Isagi now bypassed the opposing defenders on the other team. As he says, "So how was my formation showcase?" As it's one of his weapons I mentioned earlier, known as Isagi's domain. As Sae replies that his stupid little formation couldn't get through him and his defense. As Isagi thinks of one more move. As Isagi thinks of one more weapon of his that no one can replicate, copy, defend, or stop. Which is Isagi's catastrophe. As his teammate and the oppositions are wondering what he's about to do. He said he has been working on this for a while and he's probably mastered it by now. As he enters the flow state as he is now in the zone, shouting, "I will kill you and your ego of yours and you will get to see what my catastrophe play style is all about." As he changes his whole play style, is it more of a combination of most of the world's top players' play styles and weapons in one combined. As Isagi is now some sort of being on the pitch as he doesn't seem to be himself anymore. With everyone shocked, even the spectators, world-class players, and including Itoshi shocked of what Isagi's doing. His whole nature changed as he's doing feints, finesse shots, nutmegs, scissors, 1-2 passes, and even doing Ronaldo's chop as it's a killer move, breaking ankles. As Isagi has gone something beyond flow knows as synchronization, it's basically Isagi giving away all common sense. As his body and inner conscious is playing for him. It looks like he's going of something type of instinct and reflex. As Isagi now kicks the ball in the sky, he jumps up and explosively kicks the ball in the goal net. Even the goalie and C could react. It's even faster than Kaiser's impact in the later chapters. As it sounds like some type of rifle as the ball makes a hole in the net, even going through it, and there's a lot of dust on the field. And everyone witnessing this happened didn't know what just happened as Isagi just showed something so gracefully and immensely complex. No one didn't even know what play style and shit that was. As Isagi now walks up to Sae as he tells him, "I told you I would make you submit your position as a striker and destroy your ego and shitty fantasy of yours, didn't I?" As Sae looks up to Isagi as it's like he is some invincible and egotistical driven wall he can't even imagine passing. As Isagi says, "Remember the deal we made and don't forget this match and the way I destroyed you." As the whole Japan and people around the world start going haywire after Isagi's performance, as he really proved himself to the world that he is the ultimate player. As later on throughout the years Isagi gained his fame, success and things he ever imagined, and his parents are proud of what they made. We get to Isagi winning the playoffs with Ichin in high school. They ask him what is he's gonna be doing when it comes to the nationals. He says he's gonna win that's all there is to it. We cut to him walking home. He opened the doors as his parents congratulate his victory. They remind him that he had gotten an invitation to the Japan Football Association, for short, the JFA. Isagi ends up meeting Kira there also. They start a small chat then go inside. Isagi notices that almost everyone there is glancing at him. As it's kinda making his alter ego show itself as he's smiling knowing he is the best one there. We get the person operating this Blue Lock project goes up on stage and introduces himself. "Hi, I'm Ego Jinpachi, the person facilitating the project. What all you need here is ego. Without that ideology implemented in your brain, you will not survive a day in here. So if you don't have an ego, lock off." As Isagi is the first one to charge through the doors and the rest follows. Isagi gets his uniform and his badge rank. As it shows rank 1 Team Z. He finds Team Z's dormitory. He enters and gets stares and glances from some of the individuals. A guy walks up, "Hi, I'm Gurimu Igarashi, I'm a huge fan of you Isagi." And then many others walk up and any believe Isagi and them are in the same room and even on their team. The TV screen turns on as it is Ego Jinpachi present. He announces that they're teammates and rivals and makes the tag game known and set the rules. Igarashi is first with the ball but Isagi takes it from him and asks who's next. Bachir makes his presence known as he's up for the challenge to take on the ultimate player, Yoichi Isagi. As Isagi notices that Bachir's weapon is his skilled dribbling. He might be a nice pawn for him through this stay in blue luck. As Bachir shoots the ball towards Isagi's path. As Isagi blasts the ball toward hitting Kira in the face. As the timer runs out. Kira Ryosuke hear it. Now lock off, as Kira can't believe that he's eliminated. This doesn't make sense, Kira says. Tag has nothing to do with football. We skip later as Kira leaves and everyone has passed the entrance exam. Now all of their ranks has changed as Isagi's rank is still rank 1. Next it's Team Z versus Team X. Previously Isagi was going to tell them how the game's supposed to go. They analyze and go through all their weapons and skills. Bachira is skilled at dribbling and passing. Kunigami is skilled with his mid-range shot. Reichi is good at attacking and defense. Niruhea is good at staying behind unnoticed. Gagamaru and Limon is good at goalkeeping. Igarashi is just there, he's somewhat decent. Now they ask what is Chijiri's weapon, as he doesn't leave a reply to the team. As Reichi is about to confront the redhead but Isagi tells him to give him some time. Now we get back to the match. They meet Bara as he's the king, so he says. The match starts as Team X starts off with the ball but before Bara can react Bachir takes the ball. What, how did he? Then Bachir passes the ball to Isagi, takes the ball and uses his direct shot to score the first goal. Then after that it's been goal after goal for the coordinated team. As this case of events Team Z actually uses teamwork instead of being selfish and unorganized. It's the last 10 seconds of the match. Team X has on my scored 1 goal. Team Z is gonna win regardless as they get the ball. Bara knows what's going to happen next, or does he? The same move Isagi killed the genius Sae Itoshi with is gonna happen to Bara. Isagi says, "Farewell king, your time has come as now I'll dethrone you and destroy your pride and ego." Then Isagi uses his weapon Isagi's catastrophe, kicking the ball up in the sky and doing a no-look shot with a middle finger pointing at Bara. The ball goes in the net as it sounded like a missler. Team Z has won 10-1. As the whole team is cheering and celebrating on their victory, Isagi goes up to Bara looking down on him. "I'm the worst person you can ever run up on the field, remember me and that shot and how we beat you and your team." Now guys, if you listened all the way up to this point, I want to thank all of you for going through this journey of ego with me. As this is part 2 and 2 of What If Isagi Was the Ultimate Player 1K subscriber special. I will see you next time, hopefully lol.